On December 27, 1991, a Scandinavian Airlines flight from Stockholm, Sweden to Warsaw, Poland was forced to make an emergency crash landing after both engines failed just minutes after takeoff. All 129 passengers and crew survived the crash, and this incident came to be known as the case of Flight 751. The model of plane involved was the McDonnell Douglas DC-9, which had the unique design feature of its two rear engines being behind the wings of the plane. The night before Flight 751, the aircraft had returned from Zurich with the fuel in the wing tanks more than half full. The aircraft was parked overnight in freezing temperatures, and the remaining fuel in the tank reached temperatures near minus 20 degrees Celsius, causing the formation of ice on the surface of the wing. Prior to takeoff, the aircraft was de-iced twice by the de-icing personnel, and the front of the wing was inspected by a technician, but no ice was found. However, the technician had no equipment to climb on top of the wing, and he had no way of knowing that there was about an inch of clear ice further back on the wing. Given that the de-icing team thought that all the ice was properly removed, the plane was cleared for takeoff. During flight, when the aircraft wings began to bend, the ice broke off and flew into the engines, causing the engines to begin surging. The proper procedure in the case of a surge is that the pilot is supposed to reduce power to the engines. The pilot claims to have done this, but according to the flight records, the thrust was reduced, then shortly increased to beyond full power. Subsequent investigations showed that this happened as a new system called ATR, or Automatic Thrust Restoration, had been implemented as a safety feature to increase thrust during the plane's climb. This caused the engines to essentially self-destruct and lose function, and without power, the pilot's only recourse was to make a crash landing. The communication and ethical issues that contributed to this incident were the plane being parked with fuel in the wings during freezing weather, the lack of equipment for the de-icing crew to climb on top of the wing, the lack of proper communication between the manufacturer and the airline with regard to the ATR system that had been installed. The effects of these breaches were, firstly, ice forming on the wings due to the freezing fuel in the wing tanks. Secondly, the entirety of the wing could not be checked for ice, and this led to the plane taking off without all ice being properly removed from the wing. Finally, because of the installation of the automatic thrust restoration system wasn't properly communicated to the airline, the pilot was unaware that reducing the throttle right after takeoff would cause the ATR system to kick in whilst the engine was surging, the exact opposite of what was required. In conclusion, the combination of bad communication and poor procedural practices led to the endangerment of the 129 lives aboard Flight 751.